So everyone, what I'd like to demonstrate today is a do-it-yourself Sun Visor for the Upair 2 controller. This will be for the 7-inch display. What you're going to need is poster board, razor blades, ruler, pencil, and some Velcro. I went with this particular type of Velcro. There's different types. This one seemed to do the job just fine. The package was $250 and the poster board was $119 for a 22 by 28 inch poster board. So the reason why I'm making this is because I did search Amazon for sun visors. I found plenty. Some ranged anywhere from $7.99 to $19.95 and some ridiculous ones for like $80. For the more popular drones like the DJI, the Parrot, you can find those all day long, but for this particular controller for the Upair 2, you couldn't quite find one with the right dimensions, so that's why I'm making my own. And first off, on the top of the screen from left to right, you're going to measure out 7 inches. I did centimeters, that's why you're going to see 13 centimeters down here, but it's 7 inches from left to right. From top to bottom, it's going to be 7 inches. And as far as the depth goes, that's really to your preference. I went with 4 1/4 inches. You can pretty much set that any way you'd like. I think 4 1/4 was adequate for me. You guys might want to go shorter, longer, just depends. But like I said, 4 1/4 worked out for me just fine. And the couple of times I've taken this drone out for flight and the sun was out, it's extremely hard to see the screen. So this helps out a lot because you can actually get a better view of the screen when you're out in the sun, and that's the whole purpose of making this. And not to mention too, for those of you that maybe thought you couldn't find one for a visor for this controller, you probably might, but I tried, I couldn't find one. So that's why I decided to go ahead and make this visor myself, and maybe you guys can find it beneficial if you happen to have the same drone and controller, or even the controller size and width. So the poster board I had from a previous project that I did with my son for school, so I had that already with me. The only thing I had to purchase was the Velcro, which was $2.50. Again, the poster board I had, but when I bought it, it was $119 for a 22 by 28 inch. So the total really was $3.69. I'm going to go ahead and get this camera situated, and then we'll go ahead and continue, so bear with me. So what I'd like to show you guys here is the thickness of the poster board. Which makes it pretty durable, especially for a visor. But as you can see here, I'll point out the foam here in a minute. You can see that it's pretty thick, and the foam is right here, if you can see that. And on the front and back, it's just paper poster board. And anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. And for the sake of time, guys, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video. But basically, again, you've got your size, you got your dimensions. It's going to be 4 inches in length, 7 inches in width, and then, like I said, in depth, I went 4 1/4. You guys can decide to go any size you wish, but that seems to be that worked for me just fine. So here I'm just making my measurements and getting ready to cut the poster board. So with my last measurement being marked, we're just about ready to start cutting the poster board. So you've got 4.5 inches, 4 inches from top to bottom. That's going to be your corner. so you're going to want to make that mark. You've got your 7 inches from left to right, and then you got your 4 inches for the sides, and we're ready to start cutting this. So upon this project, I was using these particular blades right here, but I've had these for so long that they did the job, but didn't like the fact that they didn't leave me a nice smooth razor blade cut. So later on you'll see me switch this out for an actual sharper blade, razor blade to be exact. Yeah, but make sure you get the ruler on your cuts, take your time. Now here's the key part at this point. You don't want to go all the way through the poster board. You're only going about half of the thickness of the poster board into the foam. You don't want to make a full cut, because what you're doing at this point, since you're only cutting halfway through the foam, that's going to allow the foam to bend at the corners without having to cut through the entire poster board. I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. I'm going to finish this other cut, and then I'll show you what's going to happen here if we're only cutting halfway through the poster board, not the whole thing. So once you get your cut, you're just going to basically bend it in half. There you go. And that's how you're going to maintain the shape and size without having it to split. And you can see there it makes a nice little crease, and you didn't cut all the way through. And that poster board, since it's glued onto the foam, you'll be able to keep it intact. Here what I'm doing is cutting the other side. And this is when I realized my blades weren't as sharp as they used to be when I first had them. I've had these blades for like a long time. I've used them for so many projects. I need to get me some new ones. Otherwise, see the cut there? It would have been nice and smooth, not all cutting it pretty bad the way it did here. But either way, it worked out. So. And at this point, guys, you want to just get rid of the excess. Here you would just cut all the way through the poster board. The reason why I didn't do that is because this is kind of like my desk, excuse me, slash workbench, and I don't want to damage it. This is when I realized, man, these blades are not cutting, so I went for another blade, and same thing, it wasn't any sharper than the other one. So I wish I could have gotten better blades prior to making this video, but I didn't want to stop, go to the store, buy some blades, come back, so I'm just using what I have. It would have left a much smoother, cleaner cut, but like I said, it did the project either way. Turned out good. So once we get the excess piece off, I kind of messed up right there. Actually, I didn't cut it straight down like I wish I should have. So now these two cuts that we're about to make, you don't want to cut all the way through. These two here is where you're going to want to just cut only halfway through the poster board, because that's going to be your folds, and I'll demonstrate that for you here. It's going to be that cut and this cut. And like I said, again, you don't want to cut all the way through. You're only going to do it about halfway. I kind of used my nail to grip the point of how far I wanted the blade to cut, kind of like a stopper plate, if you will. That way I knew for a fact I wasn't going to cut all the way through. That might help some of y'all if you plan to do this sun visor. And then now you just bend it, and so you kind of get the picture now that there's your two sides. And at this point now we're ready to set up the Velcro and get this all together. At this point, guys, I just wanted to demonstrate how it's going to end up looking on your controller, and as you can see, this is pretty much the end result. I think it looks pretty good. Once we put the Velcro on, we can take it off, put it on pretty easy. and I find it to be very effective. So now guys, we're going to get ready to mount the Velcro. You want to clean the surface with alcohol, obviously not on the poster board side, but on the screen side, the controller side. Another important thing I want to mention is I used basically some Velcro that you can easily take off without it really bonding. Make sure you do that, because once you take, I mean, there's different kind of Velcros out there. If you get one that's, you know, permanent, it's going to leave an ugly residue left behind should you ever decide to get rid of it, or maybe upgrade or modify your screen again in the future. Just wanted to make sure you're aware of that. You know, I used one that basically you can take off and put on pretty easy, and it doesn't leave any sticky residue behind. Just wanted to mention that. And here guys, for the sake of time, I sped up the camera because basically I'm just measuring my cuts, which is the width of the screen, onto the Velcro, so it's not sticking out badly, and that's what you're seeing here. And so now we're ready for the fun part, which is basically just sticking the Velcro on. Now the excess, which you can see here on the video, I just used a razor blade to trim that off just to make it nice and perfect, which you'll see later on in the video. And what I did was the second part to the Velcro that sticks, bonds the two pieces together, I basically just mounted it onto what's this pre-existing Velcro, you know, and basically when I put the Sun Visor over it, that would have it fit exactly where it needed to be, to make the Velcro match, you know, from one side to the next. You'll see this here in the video here shortly. So we're just going to go ahead and continue here and finish this off. Okay guys, and now we're ready to put the visor on, and the sticky Velcro is already in place, so it's just a matter of centering it, putting it right where you want it, and then squeezing it all together so that it makes good contact, and there you have it. Your do-it-yourself sun visor. Like I said, for $3.69, you can't beat it. a little bit of time, patience, and I think you guys would be happy with the results. Just wish I had a sharper blade though, damn. Oh well. And that's it, guys. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll end the video with a couple of photos of the end results. Like I said, anyone out there that has an Upair One or Upair 2 and you can't seem to find a visor for it, you know, I mean, I'm sure you can find them, but you probably won't find them to fit exactly the way it should, because like I said, most of the visors out there are pretty much for the well-known drones, you know, the ones that get a lot of popularity. And as far as like aftermarket visors, there's universal ones, but you know, like I said, if you're willing to pay anywhere between $7.99 to $20, hell, I've even seen some for $80, which I find unbelievable, then you can probably go ahead and go with those. But you know, I'm a modder. I like to do a lot of things hands-on, so that's why I make these videos. If you happen to like this, give it a shot, let me know your results, and thanks for watching as always. Appreciate y'all's time. Have a good one. See you then.